What's up, guys? Good morning. Welcome to the dating subathon. What a mess. I don't understand a lot of these programs. I spent hours trying to learn it yesterday and Friday, but I did my best and I scrounged up some widgets, something to make the stream a little bit more entertaining. But more than it is entertaining, hopefully it is informative, giving you guys a long window of access to me and the notes I have to trade and all that stuff. And I'm glad that I could, take advantage of the free time I have because of my injury to bring you guys some information, if you guys would have me and all that. Right now, I am dealing with kind of like a timer issue. So we'll start the timer, right? And then I do have a mini feed that tells me who just subscribed, right? And I will manually add 60 seconds for every single subscriber to my YouTube, right? And perhaps Twitch, if you guys would like to go subscribe there or follow me there. But yeah, we'll focus on YouTube for now. So I cannot. I'm gonna see if this works. If not, we'll just do a marathon stream and we'll go from there. I have spent hours trying to find the correct subathon timer, and none of them work for YouTube. Or if they do work, it's like I have to learn how to code and all that stuff. And I'm like, I wasn't gonna learn how to code. I don't feel like learning how to code to do a subathon. I really don't. So yeah, bear with me, guys. But super chat's still working. I don't know if the chat highlight box works. It doesn't look like it is. So yeah, it doesn't look like my. I mean, I can work on it during the stream and all that stuff. But for the most part, yeah, nothing seems to be. This is a mess. Like this whole thing is a mess. Streamlabs, all of it's a mess. Like nothing seems to be working, but we'll do the best we can. Um, I tried OBS. OBS is good, but it's like one of those programs. It takes training. You need to sit down and really mess with it for a week and to figure it out. Right? It's not some of those things that you learn in 2 or 3 days. It's a very difficult platform um, for new people. I mean, I understood like 50% of it. I do most stuff, and as I went, I was like, oh, okay, um, and all that. So yeah. Oh, cool. We have a raid. So we got a raid from Scar Thumb. So what's up, guys? Welcome. I don't know where you're at in your stream. I was gonna raid you, but I needed to get, I'm late first off, and I had to all these technical issues and all that stuff. But yeah, we're here now. So uh, maybe in the future I will set this up better or understand how to do it better. But for right now, man, this is the best I can do with the amount of time I had to prepare and all that stuff. I'll be actively trying to fix things as we go. And we're basically building the plane as we fly it, right? So, uh, yeah, that's the best thing I can do for now. But yeah, we have a spin wheel. So right here, there we go. We have a spin wheel, and let me move it up here, over here. And yeah, if you guys I would say if you guys super chat, I will spin the wheel, and then whatever it lands on, um, well, I'll do that action, right? Like I'll tell you guys a good Navy story, and obviously there's going to be good lessons in there and all that stuff. And then really we'll talk about everything, like everything there is to talk about. I'll lay it all bare and all that stuff. We can go through my whole dating thread if you guys like, explain how I came to that conclusion, and we can, we can read my Substack stuff for free. I could just read it and share it with you guys and all that stuff. So really, it's you guys are going to drive the show and all that stuff. So, but yeah, we'll build a plan on we fly. We'll fix issues as we go, and yeah, we'll do that. Um, right now, I think the number one issue is chat highlights. So I can bring up your guys' chats on screen. It doesn't seem to be working. I've tried it. Um, so we're just troubleshooting stuff, but we'll get settled here. So Yeah. Maybe I have a custom. That's what they're saying. I have a custom HTML or something. Who knows? Who knows at this point? You know. But yeah. So let's say. Oh, all right. So yeah, guys, I'll link you guys to my Substack too as well. Let me just start putting up links in here and all that. Substack's doing well. Thank you guys for the support and all that stuff. It's I'm not expecting to make that much money on it, but the fact that I could just share personal experiences, and get paid for my time is amazing. So I appreciate that. Um, and yeah, it's nice to have you know that kind of support when you're writing and all that stuff. But it's all good. Uh, so as time goes on, and let's talk about me real quick. As you guys know, I was a Navy nuclear reactor operator, meaning that I used to sit at the panel and control like control rods, pump speeds, all that stuff that makes the reactor run. And I'm not gonna try to gas myself up here too much, but you got to be kind of smart for that, right? You got to have kind of a lot of spatial awareness. You got to be able to memorize stuff and all that. So going through the pipeline, yes, I do consider myself a little bit smarter than average person, but at the same time, hold on, let me start the timer. Jesus, there we go. I do consider myself smarter than the average person, slightly smarter, not by a lot, right? But I struggled a lot going through this pipeline. I didn't know how to study. I didn't know how to, time management. None of the stuff they teach you in college, right? So when I was going through all this stuff, and I basically offloaded the discipline to my instructors, the people that my handlers in the military, leaders, and all that stuff. And really, I kind of learned, like, I'll never forget what my senior chief said in prototype school, right? So, being a nuke, you have three schools you have to go to. And three schools, for first schools to teach you like basic electronics, right? Depending on what rate you choose. So, you have three rates in the Navy. Um, you have mechanic, which is more of like valves and stuff like that. Then you have electrician, which is basically generators, switch gears, electrical stuff. And then you have electronics technician, which is basically, you know, computer stuff, chips, electronics, right? So the electronics are more of like the leadership. I don't want to say leadership class, but they're reactor controls. They control the reactor, and they're the ones that manually start the reactor up and all that stuff, right? So big deal. It's a big responsibility. So going through these schools, the first school is A school where you learn your electronics, right? Basically, first you're gonna learn a little basic electricity, then a little bit of basic math, and then you get into like anything from like you learn about AND gates, NOR gates, all that stuff. Then you learn about circuit boards and all that, and capacitors, how capacitors work, diodes, all that crap, right? Electronics. And then you move on to power school. And power school, essentially, what you do is you learn more about the nuclear side of stuff. So you learn about like nuclear physics, chemistry, basic layout of a plant. Not too in depth, but basic layout of a nuclear plant. You learn about like pump speed and cavity, like all these different kind of engineering stuff, right? Very difficult. But A school is the most difficult. Prototype is the hands-on part where you go and you actually touch a real reactor that has been or you go into a sub that's been kind of like half decommissioned. The reactor's still in there working, and you go there to train, right? To do startup, shutdowns, casualties, also very difficult, right? For me at least, it was very hard. Um, oh, there is. Sorry, thanks for reminding simply to us. There actually is a link for that. Let me. Sorry, I'm slowly. Again, we're building the plane as we fly. So, um, so you guys can drop links for a reaction, things I can react to here. And hold on. Let me create the invite. Boom. Okay. Let me see if this will work. Put my Discord off to the side here. Okay. Uh. Okay. Where were we? Let me put it. Okay. It's in the chat now. That's the Discord. That's the Discord. Invite link. Um. You guys can hit it and all that stuff. So, all right. Uh. Is this viewer count for YouTube or for everyone? For all? See, it must be Twitter too. There's no way I have 60 viewers on YouTube this early. Um, but anyways, guys, so there's the Discord link if you guys want to drop videos for me to react. Make sure that I'm not gonna react to anything stupid, right? Like nothing that can get me in trouble or nothing that makes me look dumb, right? Obviously. But yeah, so essentially that's what prototype is just hands-on, right? You have to like get oral checkouts with people and all that stuff. And eventually you finish prototype, you do a test, a final board, all this stuff. And when you finally get through with that, then you start going to the fleet, right? And when you go to the fleet, then you have to qualify there to be a reactor operator. And so you go a year and a half of training on how to operate a reactor, and then you get to an actual carrier or a submarine. Right? I was surface, so I did carrier, and then you start from zero, and you have to learn how to do all this stuff. However, you also have daily, day to day kind of responsibilities, right? You have to clean your space. You have to clean. You have to fold your clothes. You're basically living on the ship, right? So and then you have side responsibilities like you may have to, uh, you have to stand watch, right? And bury a lot, sometimes a lot. And it can wear you out. This stuff wore me out, and that's why I didn't re-enlist because this stuff sucked. Like most nukes agree that being a nuke sucked. They do throw in a sweet deal. When I joined, if you graduated prototype, you had the opportunity to star re-enlist. We call it star re-enlisting. Essentially, it's just this is what you get. This is the deal you get, right? The deal is um, if if you graduate prototype, you get a rank. You go from let me get this spin wheel out here. You go from E4 to E5, right? So third class to second class petty officer, right? Which then you automatically get paid as E5. So if you make E5 normally, like just on merit, then it takes like 6 months, I think, to get paid. Couple months, yeah, 6 months to get paid. But if you re-enlist, you get E5 plus you get paid that rank right away, right? On top of that, when you start enlist as well, you get immediate access to like BAH, which is basic allowance for housing, which usually it's like 1,300, depending on where 1,000 plus. 1,000 is like the smallest I've ever seen, depending on what state or what place you live in and all that. So there's that. Uh, and but you have to serve about 3 more years, right? You have to serve on the ship about 6 more months, and then you have to serve 3 more years. And the way they do this, right, is you just do a ceremony, you realize you swore an oath, and then you continue your career. I didn't do that, right? I got pulled into a classroom where this guy was like, "Hey, for all you guys that are thinking about reenlisting, oh, by the way, the reenlistment bonus is 93,000. It was $93,000, and I was in a tax-free zone. meaning that, you know, it was pretty tempting, right? My dad heard about this. He got mad when I didn't. Like I was in the middle of the ocean, in the middle of the Gulf, and he didn't like the fact that I just turned down $93,000, right? But I'm so glad he did, and he's now glad I did because it's just not an easy career. It will wear you out. It really changes people. A lot of my friends and a couple of my friends ended up in mental hospitals. It's not an easy career, right? So uh, this taught me a lot about myself. This taught me a lot about my limit, academically, my limit, mentally, my limit. First off, I found out that I'm more robust mentally than I thought. I'm more, what's the word I'm looking for? I forgot the word, but I, I had more in me than I thought, right? And I was surprised by this. I'm like, that's a good thing. However, I also, um, I also realized too that I had to endure a lot of humiliation and embarrassment in this career. There were some people in this in this rate or in this community or at least on the ship that they got a kick out of humiliating people, right? And I'm talking about like things that made me question myself and my dignity when I was on the ship. Nothing crazy. I know what you guys are thinking. I know the jokes, but I'm talking about like made me do stupid things just to embarrass me and to teach me a lesson. And I'm telling you right now, humiliating people to teach them a lesson doesn't work. I remember every single time that my parents or a friend or a family member or the Navy or anything tried to humiliate me or put me on, in public, like just a public display of like, look at this loser, look at this idiot. And I learned nothing. It didn't teach me a lesson. All it did was make me resentful towards that person. The resentment builds over time, and essentially you build up this kind of anger towards people trying to humiliate you or trying to make you look stupid. Um, but in life, you just have to understand that it's not about you. The reason they're doing it is not because of you, it's because of them. They're the ones, right? So when you guys see this online discourse about men and women, and they're trying to one up each other, they're trying to make people look stupid and all that stuff, right? Or they celebrate when the streamer is on their way down, or they celebrate a streamer that looks stupid on air, right? Whether it be Homath, becoming full black pill or something, or Andrew Wilson not being able to open a pickle jar, right? Or some whatever streamer that seems to have taken a hit to their brand, right? Um, you go through life and you see more of it as, hey, like the number one thing that's missing in all the people I see that make this content is just dignity. And that's hard because when you're an influencer, it's a thin line. Should I do this? Should I do this to get a little bit more money? The lights have to stay on, right? The lights have to stay on. So it's tough. And even for me, I'm like, is this something I should do? Right? Because in the grand scheme of things, it's hard to tell. Like, oh no, this is normal. Being vulnerable or being saying things and being funny or whatever, that's what I'm supposed to do. I have to be entertaining, right? But like, think of it like this: um, when you make this content, right? When you're when you're trying to trade notes with guys and put some of your personal experiences out there and what you learned and all that stuff, I am absolutely terrified at how far people are willing to go for clout, for likes, for clicks. It's almost like I've never seen humans. If there's anything humans will sacrifice for it, everything for. It's for this. Likes, clicks, follows. I'm just sacrificing a day of my life, right? And I'm injured. I have all the excuses to be here, sit down with you. It's raining outside. I have no. I was out at the pool. I socialized this weekend. I went dancing salsa on Wednesday. Friday, I went out and had cigars with my friends. And then yesterday, I went to the pool with my friends again, with my local friends here in my neighborhood, and we socialized, talked, and we had a good time, right? So it's like, um, you know, at what point when I see these people and they're willing to sacrifice, you know, it just scares me. First off, am I gonna be like that one day? Am I gonna be, you know, doing certain things that don't really help anyone but just make me look silly as a creative risk or something? Um, who knows? Hopefully not, but it's just it's scary. I feel like what happens is um a lot of people never had that experience of being embarrassed fully. Everyone's always clapped at everything they did. So they never understood like the concept of dignity and the concept of like respect for yourself, your family, your friends, and all that stuff, right? And it's tough because when working with um, um, when working with people throughout my life, I've recognized that that's my number one boundary is like do not embarrass me, at least not in public. That will always be my number one boundary because I got embarrassed a lot as a kid, as a sailor, you know. And after 2021, I said I'm done. I gotta do something about my dignity. Like I can't let people just make me look stupid, right? Whether it be a girlfriend, whether it be anyone, I don't care. Like you're not gonna make me look stupid, right? If we fight in the car or at home, right? If you have a problem, we do it privately. If you're going to walk all over me and stop all over me, right? Then you know you're gone. And that's something that's personal. Every man is different, but it's just you have to pay. Sometimes it feels like you have to pay the local tax. Sometimes you have to be so vulnerable that it causes controversy to make it, into this stuff. But every day that goes by, it just seems like there's a local tax, and I see all these larger creators and all that, and it doesn't seem like they're having a good time. I mean, what's the point of something if you don't like doing it, right? Is it because it feels like it's easy money? Do I like to debate and argue? Yeah, I love arguing and debating because I like the blue screen. I like blue screening people. The what is it? Well, I have the word for it. I forgot what it's called. It's called forgot when someone blue screens doing an argument. And I like doing that, right? Because usually all arguments boil down to this. All arguments boil down to this, right? It's ego. People's ego. It really is that. The need to control the universe, the need to control women, the need to control everything. Just a constant like control, like because I had this experience, it qualifies me to think for you. And that's what happens. And the world doesn't give a fuck. Really, guys. I'm so tired of telling you guys this. Like, the world does not care. The world does not care. That's something your dad should have taught you. But when men begin, whether it be a little bit of power, a little bit of money, or a little bit of clout, whatever things qualifies them to be like, hey, I know about everything, and I'm different. I'm an elite intellectual. They they start to feel like they become Thanos. That quote, like his daughter was like, hey, you don't know that. You don't know that this is your solution is the one that will work. And Thanos is like, I'm the only one that knows this, right? They become Thanos. And yeah, Thanos is a cool villain, but his fundamental flaw was that just that he was a fundamentalist. Like there is no There is no way that he could be like, hey, dude, the universe is going to do what it's going to do. Just because you had a bad experience with your life and your history doesn't mean the universe is going to buckle and bend over as you try to change it, right? And that's what happened. He ended up getting defeated by the Avengers, right? Um, you only have one life to live. You can't be trying to control a universe forever, right? You can't be trying to control women, men, politics. It's gonna burn you out. Um, you can set the example. You can be happy, but the point here of the red pill, and it's just it's not for you to control the universe. A lot of men they get stuck here for years. Like, oh, we gotta like change these hoes, hold them accountable. And I don't know what that means anymore. What does even holding a woman accountable mean? Does it mean like does it mean uh being mean to them? Does it mean like trying to shut down things that make them hoes or something? Like I don't even know what it means anymore. You can't like women are gonna do what they're gonna do, right? And if you guys socialize and date and are out there enough, you realize like women are sometimes held accountable, just not by you. But that's not your problem. Why are you putting more problems on to yourself than you have to? You already have a job. You already have family problems. You probably have health problems like me right now, like with my recovery, right? You probably have problems that you don't even know you have yet that are coming down the pipeline. And you're worried about what other people do outside you. You must either have too much time on your hands or you don't have real problems, right? You should be hyper focused on getting ahead yourself and in your people and your friends. You shouldn't be trying to change the universe. It's futile. It does. No one has been able to do it. And if they have, it's because, um, it was almost by accident. They didn't know how much they were going to change the universe, and or they regret changing the universe, like your Oppenheimer, right? Oppenheimer said, "I become death, destroyer of worlds," right? And the Bhagavad Gita. Am I saying that right? That was a quote from the Bhagavad Gita. And the thing is, like, changing the world isn't something as glamorous as people think, right? Everyone thinks they are, but it's not glamorous. It's a tough thing, right? But yeah. Morning, guys. I remember one time in the army we had to go and make sure our rooms were clean. While doing that, I lost track of time. My dumbass forgot we had formation outside. To be continued. Yeah, we all, um, yeah, we all have stories where we've screwed up largely and all that stuff. But yeah, it just seems like I don't know where all this controlling the universe stuff. Like, obviously, you should go through a phase. Most guys go through a phase where they wish things would be different. Women will be a certain way, and men will be a certain way, and all that. But honestly, I think what it is that um, first off, I think the genders want the other gender to be more, uh, more accepting. Sorry, not more accepting, more like them. Right. So you can never make women into men. I mean, we've tried. They're trying, but a woman is a woman because their hormone profile is completely different. Like their brain chemistry is completely different, almost completely different from a man's, right? And for all this talk about um, transsexuals and all that stuff being the bad on society, women are acting like the men more than ever, right? It's funny to see women who are 31, 33, deep into a career um, with tattoos or a couple tattoos, with dominating, with a weak husband at home, doesn't want to be a mom, doesn't want to look cute or sexy or act feminine, being criticizing men that want to be women or men that are too feminine or women that want to be women that are too that want to change gender. I'm like, you guys are the same. You guys are both trying to become the same thing, which is the man. It's the same thing. Yeah, but so I made my way outside the formation area, which is normally outside the barracks. And I opened the front door, and lo and behold, formation was going on. Everyone just gave me a look. Then this first sergeant looks right, Looks behind right at me. What happened? Did you get did you get chewed out in front of everyone? Then first sergeant said, "Why are you late to my formation, hero? You know what? Stand right behind me to the side so everyone can look at you for being late." Damn, classic military. Yep. But was that boot camp or was that your first school? Because like, when I got to the ship, these kind of things was always handled behind closed doors. Like they would not embarrass you publicly. I mean, I guess maybe because they didn't want nukes to go crazy. But yeah, in a nuclear world, everyone has like mental issues and overly stressed. So we tend not to push buttons. But some people did. And then lo and behold, people ended up in mental hospitals. It's like, oh, cool. You push someone's buttons and they quit. You know, they're in a mental hospital. They went missing. Yeah, maybe don't push people's buttons. You know, I was a young PFC private first class. Yeah, good times, good times. Yeah, there was one time where I was in boot camp and I was standing watch with a gun, and one of my RDCs comes up behind me, which is like our version of drill sergeant, and he takes the gun from my holster. And because he was an RDC and I wasn't gonna stop him or touch him, you know, I was like, I'm not gonna touch him. So I just let him take the gun. I thought he was just gonna use it to like show someone something, you know, like show everyone something, right? And then when it happened, he was like yelling at me, like, I just killed everyone. I just killed your RPOC. I just killed. And I'm like, oh, he took the gun. He took it from me to see if I would react. But it's just like, I wasn't in, I was inside of a room in an office room and beds. There was beds. And it was like a barracks. Like in my mind, I'm not standing watch. In my mind, I'm just standing, so it's whatever. Hey, we're getting a raid. What's up, guys? Yeah. Um, I have no idea if this counter is working. I'm gonna assume it isn't. Chat, the chat thing skipped one of Alex Patino's posts, so I don't know if that's working correctly. I can't pin chats, and yeah, everything's gone to shit. Also, I don't know if the subscriber alert box is working. I don't know if anything is working. I'm just talking. Maybe something will work, so maybe something fixes itself. I don't know, but yeah, I don't know if I'm gonna ever use this again. This is ridiculous. But anyways, you can't control the universe. And honestly, as time goes on, you'll find peace and solace, and you glad you can't, because that's a lot of responsibility. That's a lot of people you have to wrangle and change their hearts and minds. No, yeah, I mean it's counting down, but it's not. A It's supposed to add a minute for every subscriber for follower, and I haven't got. I was for hours yesterday and Friday. I was trying to set this up. Nothing. Didn't get it to work on any platform. It just does not work with YouTube. I think it works with Twitch, but with YouTube, it does not work. So um, I've tried it, and I don't care anymore. So I'll try to like manually add, but that is contingent on that the mini feed here is updating in real time, which I'm not sure it is. I don't know if it's actually working. But anyways, yes. So where were we? Where were we? Ah, um, this guruism on the internet where people, you know, think they know what's best for you, um, where people kind of map it out, and there's like this big glaze fest over like, hey, they're actually not that bad. Hey, actually, they're actually amazing. And like, like I guess Rich Cooper said it best. Why would you listen to someone whose life you don't want? If someone shows you something, the way how to live, yet they're miserable, why would you why would you listen to their advice or their course or to their content? Why would you? What's I mean, it's simple. It's not like it's not wrong. This is a pretty simple line of thinking. You can map out everything in the world, right? We have math. Math will like calculus. That's the study of Mother Nature. Essentially, you can map out weather. You can map out road like traffic. You can map out sound waves. You can map out electricity. You can map out almost anything. You can map out human behavior, right? But what you can map out is getting over your ego. You can't map that out. That's something that you have to look at yourself and be like, what are the cards I'm given with? What is possible? What is not? What is futile? What is a waste of my time? I don't care what IQ is, right? I don't care because there's people with lower IQs than me that are rich, millionaires, and happy. And there's people with higher IQs than me that are miserable, staring down the barrel of a gun every day. And it's like, what is even intelligence? The ability to memorize something, the ability to learn things faster, the ability to learn calculus or understand abstractions better, whatever it is, right? And then we say, oh no, just smart people just tend to be more unhappy. Bullshit, right? It's the ego. It's not about smart people tend to be more unhappy. It's the fucking ego. When you're smart, you think you know everything. You think you know everything. When you're dumb, you know that you know nothing. The world is big and vast, and you're just whatever, right? There's only four types of people. I mean, this is a funny saying. I don't know if it's true or not, but it's a funny saying. Someone told me, my chemistry teacher or professor told me in college. He was like, "There's four people. There are those who know they know. There are those who don't know that they know. There's those who know that they don't know, and the worst, there's the ones that don't know that they don't know. That's it. There's the four people, and the only way um, to really figure this out is to just assume that you don't know, and that all the world's geniuses and all the smart people and the people who have dedicated their life to a certain problem, if they haven't figured it out yet, how the fuck are you going to figure it out, right? And you may say, well, Nuke, you're good, we're decent with women. Like you figured out a problem that lots of experts and scientists have have trouble, right? And I'm like, no, I didn't figure out women. I figured out myself. I just figured out myself. A lot of the struggles we have with women are really just struggles with ourselves as men. Uh, hey, your women suck. Have you approached? When was the last time a girl said no thanks? I have a boyfriend. Like when have you get rejected last? Just exactly. There you go. You figured out yourself. You're afraid of rejection. You are afraid of rejection. It is what it is. I mean, you cannot speak about solving a woman's issues or sorry, dating issues in the West if you everything stems from that fact. I'm afraid of rejection. When I say afraid, I mean yeah, yeah, of course we're all afraid, right? We're humans, but I'm saying you refuse to face that reality that you are afraid of rejection more than women suck. Mm. It happens. Got it. Another thing you figure out about yourself that uh, you're lazy. You're not lazy like physically lazy, like mentally lazy, and you disguise it as different things or make it like your necessity or virtue. Like I tell guys, hey, take good pictures of yourself. Learn how to pose. Learn that takes work, right? You may learn how to sit down and learn camera settings. You may learn how to pose. You may have to actually do fun stuff for once instead of sitting at home and live a pretty cool life. You may have to ask your friends to take pictures of you. You may have to edit. You may have to put filters. You may have to curate your Instagram. That takes a little bit of mental effort. And then they say, no, that's lame. That only women do that. Even though it's really proven at this point that men who give a crap about their appearance online and look good with dignity, of course, tend to do better in dating. You see what I'm saying? It's not about women, it's about you. You have a problem with putting in effort. Everything else is easy. Everything else. We have taxis for our McDonald's now, right? Something had to get a little bit harder. Hey, the Prince Princess of the tip 19. Thank you, Fresh Prince. I appreciate it. Um, from the $20 super chat. Should we do a spin wheel for that? Let me finish my rant, and then we'll do a spin wheel. We'll spin the wheel for that. We'll spin the wheel for that super chat. Thanks, Fresh Prince. Um. Anyways, what was I saying? Okay, so essentially, uh, man, I lost my train of thought. I need more coffee. Where were we? Um, but I'm responding to the Discord. Guys, get in the Discord if you want to. I'm actively talking to people in the Discord Sub-A-Thon server, so or channel. Okay, so it's about you guys, and yes, there's things women aren't awesome creatures either. They have a lot of flaws and they're annoying, and that's normal to feel like that. Like men have been complaining about women our whole lives. Like it's whatever. Like who cares? However, um, if you don't look inward, you're gonna end up like this guy. Just a paragraph. Everything sucks. I'm 40. It's all over. I can't win. I give up. I'm throwing in the towel. Right? And then he's not doing it because he's gonna quit. He's doing it for sympathy. Like when guys don't look inward and look at themselves and be like, why do I struggle? Why do I have trouble accepting female nature? Why am I feeling this? Just ask yourself why. And you're too proud or too egotistical to like ask people, hey, you seem happy. What do you do? But not in that way, maybe, but like maybe at least reflect a little bit. You're gonna be miserable. Like I don't want to be miserable. I want to be happy. I don't care about being right. I don't care. So everything else is easy. So something had to be a little bit difficult or a little bit different, changed, right? So guys, they want air fryers and they want iPhone 16s and they want uh, they want games that blow their mind, but they also want women to be like the 50s where they just love them for bringing a paycheck home. That makes zero sense. See what I'm saying? And then, we have the morality thing, like, oh, it's the moral thing. I'm like, dude, there is no morality in dating. Like, there is none. Women are not moral. See, and you guys keep pulling the string on these guys. And it's just like the more and more you pull, it's just like you just don't date, bro. You haven't dated. And if you did date, you dated from a place of an egotistical place where like I see this with guys where they have a little bit of success and it cements the things that they thought before because they thought the reason women like me is because I'm horrible or because I'm awesome. And I'm like, no, dude, maybe she liked you because of multiple reasons that you don't even know, right? I talk to women and very rarely, sometimes they actually tell me, hey, what did you see in me? Like, more down the line, not in the beginning. And they're like, I had one girl tell me, that's because you have two phones. I thought that was hot. That's one of the reasons I like you because you had two phones. It made you look busy and important. He's like, yeah, I kind of like that. I'm like, wow, cool. I didn't know. And some girls are just like, what? Girls are like, hey, it's just the way. Sorry, I'm gonna get a little bit intimate, but the way you kissed my stomach during sex and you were so aggressive, I like that. Like that made me happy. And other girls are just like, hey, the way you're so excited about little accessories you buy for your computer. That's what I like. I like you had this kind of like childlike, you know, um, interest that made you happy and it made me happy. Whatever, right? Women like you for different things, right? And if we keep boiling it down to, like alpha versus beta and all that stuff, those are that you have some competencies that you have to fill, obviously, right? But with these guys, you could just tell that they just don't date. And if they did date, They thought that what they were doing before, even though it was working, they were having a blast and they were sexually well satisfied and women liked them, that it was wrong. They look back and they're just like, I was fucking a lot. How dare I? How dare I enjoy myself? Let me kick the ladder out under me so no one else does what I did. And I'm like, are you serious, bro? That's horrible. Kicking the ladder out from under. So you get to have fun, but everyone else shouldn't, right? It's insane that at this point, mm, that's where we're at. We're telling men not to have fun. We're telling them to fix the world instead of like going after what they want. The world is fixed. What are you gonna do to make the world better? Really? What is left? And even if you did, would the people use it until like we got AI now? Well, you know what people are doing? They're making slutty Studio Ghibli AI pics with it and using it to argue statistics on the internet, on Twitter. Even if you did, what would nothing like people wouldn't would people even use it to improve their lives? Not really. It is what it is, guys. Like um it's not rocket science. We're overthinking this, really. We are overthinking it. Like it does not have to be this depressing. It is simply things are different. They're not the same. We're feeling all a little bit of whiplash from the changes because of social media and all that stuff. And then to deal with the whiplash, you have to change how you see the world that you were the way you taught, the way you were taught. The world is not women don't like you for your morality. They never have and they never will. That was just a lie. It was fed to us like if you're a good man, she'll like you and you get yourself a good woman. And what is a good woman? Loyal. Okay, is that anything to do with morality? Like um a certain Austrian painter's wife was loyal. Was she a good person? It's not loyalty is not a morality thing. Loyalty is a hey, I make a choice to be with you thing. It's a convenience thing for men. And essentially you get to this point where you sort of like that article I wrote, I see the world in debug mode where I see this on the wall. I see how men are with women and the morality thing and get yourself a good woman. I'm like, what is a good woman though? What is a good woman? Is it a woman that goes to church? Is it a woman that just does what you say? Usually just a woman that listens to me. And I'm like, yeah, well you wanna comply. It has nothing to do with morality. It has everything to do with are you awesome? Are you cool? And then if you're cool, um, can you keep that up? And also, she has a choice too. You can be the coolest dude on earth, and she can be like, "Nah, I can't have this." And guys will still blame themselves and all that stuff. Yeah, yeah. If he starts benching 225 and does a face reveal, his problems will be over. Yeah, and that's the thing. I mean, he has mentioned he's lifted videos and all that stuff. And the thing is, you overthought it, bro. You overmapped out human behavior. The things that you make charts and 2 hour long videos about are just one phrase in the red pill praxology. Hey, girls are bad judges of character. They leave, they come back, and they're fickle. Let me make 30 TikToks or a 2 hour video on this, and we're just like, she's not yours, just your turn. But what about her? And what do you? And I'm like, no, who cares? I'm, on to the next one. I cannot control you. I'm like it. It'll make me miserable thinking why you left, how I can get you back, and what I can do next time to not this happen again. Instead, I'm like, I'm going to continue doing the things I want to do in life. What's necessary to get ahead. And if a girl wants to be on board, great. If she gets tired, great. I don't want to be with a girl that doesn't want me. I would rather be alone. So, yeah. A good woman is whatever fits her narrative. Exactly. It's whatever's convenient. Whatever's convenient to the other gender is a good person, right? So a guy that doesn't play video games and all that stuff, a guy that doesn't um, do anything for himself and everything he does is for his woman, That is a good man. But a man with that is selfish, that, hey, I could replace you if I wanted to, if you act up and all that stuff. That's inconvenient. That's not real. That's a child. So yeah, man, to pray with debits and credits in their own heads, what we deserve and what we don't, what we are owed. Yeah, entitlement, right? We're already living. We're already so privileged. It almost hurts. We got so much things going for ourselves. Imagine thinking that people also have to listen to you and your ideas and live by your code of honor. That's insane. It's like, as long as you don't screw with my ability to provide for myself, I'm fine. I'll figure it out. I always have. So, all right. So we got a super chat from Princess Amunda catching up.
Thank you so much, best friend!
I'm sorry. Still learning how to go between videos and scenes. But all right, how about we spin the wheel because of that super chat? Every super chat spins the wheel, and then we'll do whatever the wheel says. All right, Substack article. Okay, cool. Let me figure out. I forgot how to set this up, but we can go to my site. Let me exit out of everything else. Okay. All right, so we're going to go to Streamlabs. Make sure everything's closed out. And I think it's window capture. Let me see if I can. Okay, I think I figured it out. Cool. Capture method, automatic. Okay, done. Okay, cool. This is cool. Okay, I figured it out, guys. So we're gonna blow this up, and we're going to get rid of the spin wheel here. And hopefully this is big enough. If not, I'll make it bigger. There we go. All right, let's read this one. Seeing the world in debug mode after filming it. This is a paid article, guys, if you would like to subscribe, but since Princess Zamunda just bought you guys a free reading of it, so we'll read this. Okay. Seeing the world in debug mode after you finally get it. Is this big enough for you guys, or maybe I can make it bigger? Hold on. It's this one, so I'll just okay, much better. So, seeing the world in debug mode after you finally get it. So, seeing the algorithm. This is number 68 on my dating thread. Essentially, I tweeted on February 15th, 2023, knowing the concepts of game is like watching a world in debug mode. You'll see all the algorithms in people's relationships and in social situations in real time. Coolest part is you can turn it off whenever you want, right? All right, so debug mode is a term borrowed from software development. It's a special state that reveals diagnostic information, system logs, error messages, step-by-step execution, and behind-the-scenes functions that usually remain hidden. You'll see it in video games too, often used by devs and modders to track bugs or fine-tune gameplay. It's not glamorous, it slows the system down, but it shows you what's broken, right? You guys can see where I'm getting at with this. Now apply that same concept to dating, male identity, and intersexual dynamics. Once you've internalized red pill truths, actually internalize them, not just parody quotes online, you start seeing the world in debug. You start seeing the mistakes clearly. If you ever sat with a friend who's venting about his girl problems, you know the feeling. Within 5 minutes, you can pinpoint the exact moment he lost frame, the exact mistake, that shifted the power dynamic. The exact behavior that sent her running into Chad's DMs. Um, yeah, that was an interesting sentence. But for the most part, guys, everyone has a friend, or we've been we've been what do you call it? What would I say? We've all been that guy who's tried to save our friend. And as you know, the red pill is triage. It's basically we save the ones we can and read the last rites to the die, right? And that's basically all it is. And from the outside, it's easy to see mistakes that guys are doing. Like from the outside, you're just like, yeah, blah, blah, blah. I can't believe we do this. But then in our own lives, it's hard to see our own mistakes. And this is where I'm getting at with this article. All right, you want to tell him, hey, stop orbiting, you're pedestalizing her, start spinning plates. He pushes back, he resists, counters with therapy speak. I just want to communicate better. He clings to love, emotional safety, and the other comforting lies that justify staying in a broken dynamic. He's opting into his own destruction, and you can't stop him. Yeah, and you wish you could, but you can't. Debug mode on a larger scale. Once your lens is clean, the larger societal glitches become just as obvious, right? And this is like your home mass and your other social commentators, Why does she get a lighter sentence than a man for the same crime? Why do women initiate the majority of divorces and still benefit more? Why does society reward men who comply but shame men who lead? Start noticing the inconsistencies, the code doesn't add up. You feel the need to scream it into a mic through a YouTube video or an X post like a modern day prophet while the crowd boos. They're not in debug mode. You are, because you're seeing all the errors and glitches and inconsistencies in the software, right? What does getting it even actually mean? Right. So, the getting it was the title of the post. And, some guys think they get it because they memorize the talking points. They can quote Rollo Tomasi or Royce verbatim. They post based memes, yell at feminists online and think that's the game, but they're missing the point. Getting it means understanding the purpose of red pill praxeology to increase male sexual power and options and to build a positive masculine identity. Right. And guys, what's positive? What's positive about a guy complaining online that life sucks and that it's all over because he can't affect change in the world, right? What's you know what is what is positive about that, right? Let me move this timer up a little bit to the right here. There you go. Essentially, there's nothing positive. That's not rule zero. Right? Rule zero, we're trying to positive male identity. So that's it. Nothing more, nothing less. That is rule zero. Everything else, rage bait, manosphere gossip, red pill cosplay, is a distraction. It's hard watching friends trip over themselves, blind to what you see now see clearly. But you're not Captain Saber, bro. Not everyone has the stomach to self audit. This is what I was getting at, like looking inward, because the red pill is about you. It's not about women. I mean, yes, we're trying to have sex with women, but trust me, most of the reasons you can't are you. I would say 80% is you, minimum. Um, Blind to what you see now see clearly. But you're not Captain Saber, bro. Not everyone has a stomach to self-audit. Some men will repeat the same behavior over and over while defending it with religious fervor. Yeah. Hey, you can't control the universe. No, I gotta tell people how to live. Dude, it's not about telling other people, it's about you and your happiness. No, I have to save the world. I have to save my friends. I have to save the country. No, dude, it's about you. Um, and there are guys who ask, will there be girls at the party? And when they are, and when there are, they say nothing, right? We always have that friend that's like, "Hey, will there be girls there? Like, where are the bitches at?" And then when they get to the party, they don't talk to any women, or they. So it's like they know the theory, but they don't apply it. Like they know game, they know everything about game, but until they have a living, breathing woman in front of them, none of it matters. It's just talk. They debug the world, but not themselves. You can see all the errors in the matrix, everything, but you don't see that the most important part isn't fixing it. It's just how you deal with it and be happy. Debug mode is for you. The red pill helps you understand intersexual dynamics, but more importantly, it helps you understand yourself, your patterns, your programming, your blind spots. You start to realize it's not about changing the system, it's about winning within it. When you start seeing dating, relationships, and society in debug mode, when the glitches and errors become impossible to ignore, remember this. That ability is for your benefit, not to fix society, not to fight the culture war, not to red pill every man you meet. It's for your one life. That's it. It's nothing more, nothing less. So yes, analyze, see the code, track the bugs, but fix your own system first. That's where the real power is. Most importantly, remember to turn it off sometimes and enjoy life from time to time, which is the most important thing. Great, you understand all this stuff about the red pill, you understand everything. But if you can't just enjoy life and enjoy the little things in life, right, then what's the point? What is even the point of this? You know, like it makes no sense. So, yeah. And really, that's very important today's day and age because we've had this kind of feeling that everything should be like we have a say in what other people do. But okay, I have some. Let me see. Is this hold on. Let me see if I can window capture this. We can react to it. So, oh, guys, if you want to send me stuff to react to, just put it in the chat. But let me see. Um, window capture. Okay, give me a sec, guys. Figure this out. Mm. Okay, cool. I figured it out. Hopefully it plays. Okay, so we have this one. Let me see if it. Give me a second. I gotta like change the size of this. Boobs. Okay. I'm gonna play it. You guys, let me know if you can hear it. I can. I'll be able to hear it, but I don't know if I can hear it. Let me see if window capture. Okay, I think it will. All right, I'm gonna play it from there. Wait, hold on. Hold on. I gotta. Crap, man. I tell you, dude. So many settings. Oops, sorry. Where were we? Okay, properties. Um. Okay, there we go. Monitor and output. Okay, awesome. Okay, so now it should be able. It should play sound for me. Okay, let's see what this chick has to say. Oh, I know what I did wrong. I have to. I have to move this to my. It's on my other monitor. So, ah, shit. Just 1 second. Jesus. We're building the plane as we fly it. So let me move my Discord here to my main screen, and we're going to blow this up. Go back to here. We're going to go to window capture. See that? Okay, we're going to window capture, and then we're going to blow this up. Okay, let's play it now. All right. Cool.